everybody, my name is ct-dax, and welcome back to another video. It's good to see you all, and Happy New Year. We are joined, of course, with the one, the only, the Oni. How you doing, man?
What's up? What's up, guys? Good to be back. Good to be back, especially for the new year. You know, feeling a bit that we can get into it. You know, a bit spry.
Yeah, it's definitely been a few weeks longer than we anticipated to get back to the next episode.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
That's
Family
okay.
lives and personal life.
Yeah, you get the family stuff, you got New Year's, all that kind of stuff. So, it's been weeks. Where do you remember where we left off? Like what we talked about last?
I'm pretty sure it was the biotransference. So the rise of technically what created Necrons, like them becoming a Necron.
Yeah, that's a lot of what I remember too. And then
yeah,
realizing just like how vampiric the Satan really were, and just how sneaky.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Was it? Yeah, it was the Satan, because the Satan are technically the Star Eaters, the planetary vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been weeks, and so trying to catch up to it. But yeah, I think it was. So it was the fact that they've now changed, and now they're pretty much being told to go out and wage war.
Yeah. It's like we'll give you immortality, and you give you these metal bodies, and you'll be uplifted, because at the time the Satan, they were in metal bodies themselves. Like, hey, you can be just like us. We'll power you up.
Oh yeah.
And we're gonna fight those fuckers over there. And then it's just like, gotcha.
Like, for some reason, they managed to get in, like, a god was managed to put into a metal body.
Yeah, it was like their kind of essence was put into the necrodermis.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. And yeah, it was now it's just like, okay, now you're ours. Now we have new desires and tastes for things, so let's just go have some war.
Yeah, they were introduced to, like, new sensations. And that's what they wanted, so they're like, "Yeah, fuck it, let's keep going, let's go."
So we're gonna continue on from where we are. We're in the 40K wiki, so if we get things wrong, don't blame us, blame whoever wrote it. So we're at Necron's Ascendant, with the Satan and the Necrons fighting as one. The old ones were now doomed to defeat. Glutted on the life force of the Necron tier, the empowered Satan were able to unleash forces beyond comprehension. Planets were razed, suns extinguished, and whole star systems devoured by black holes, called into being by the reality warping powers of the star gods. Necron legions finally breached the webway and assailed the old ones in every corner of the galaxy. They brought under siege the fortresses of the old ones. They brought under siege the fortresses of the old ones, many allies amongst the younger intelligent species of the galaxy, harvesting the life force of the defenders to feed the voracious Satan masters. In the closing years of the War in Heaven, one of the primary factors that led to the Necrons' ascendancy was their ability to finally gain access to the Old One's webway. The Satan, known as Neradrazath, the Burning One, had long desired to carry his eldritch fires into that space beyond space, and so show the Necrons how to breach its extra-dimensional boundaries. Through a series of living stone portals known as the Dolmen Gates, the Necrons were finally able to turn the Old One's greatest weapon against them, vastly accelerating the ultimate end of the War in Heaven.
Oh, okay, so...
Damn.
They didn't have the warp from the ships. They had to build these giant stone gates for them to go through.
To get into the webway.
Yeah, that is crazy. I mean... Like, thinking about that, right? It's like, obviously, it's pretty much saying that the old ones this is gonna defeat the old ones.
Yeah,
because like they're doomed now. Because now
you just had this undead army of robot Terminators.
Yeah, true.
And you have gods fighting with you that are superpowered now. It's just like, yeah, good luck.
Nerida, is it Neradrazath?
Yeah, Neradrazath.
Neradrazath, the Burning One. That's a sick name. And he wants to bring his Eldritch Fire. That's Eldritch Flame, man.
Yeah. Eldritch Fire entered the space between space. So the webway.
Wait, so at this point, does the webway have like demons in them already, or is it this is that a follow up to completely something new?
Well, I can't actually remember if the old ones made the webway or they just sort of found the webway. Because I know the webway is like sort of like parallel to the warp. Like we gotta do a full episode on the webway and what it is. Because like my understanding on it is limited.
Yeah.
So like when we get to that, maybe someone can be lovely and tell us in the comments, what exactly is the webway in relation to the warp? Like to my knowledge, the webway is it's like the back alleys, but it's safer to get through. That's as much as I know.
That's what I thought. I thought it was just like, in my opinion, I thought it was it's just a different part of the warp.
Yeah,
like it's just a different section of it. Maybe I don't know.
I have no idea, but I'm looking forward to finding out.
Me too.
All right. So, the portals offered by the Dolmen Gates are neither so stable nor so controllable as the naturally occurring entrances to the webway scattered across the galaxy. Oh, so they made the gates and forced their way in. Interesting. Okay. I know I kind of said that in the last thing, but like it's nice to know, like, hey, we can get into the webway. Good luck if you manage to get through.
Right.
So,
okay.
Indeed. In some curious fashion, the webway can detect when its environs have been breached by a Dolmen Gate, and its arcane mechanisms swiftly attempt to seal off the infected spur from the rest of the labyrinth dimension until the danger to its integrity is past. Thus, the Necrons entering the webway must reach their intended destination through its shifting extra-dimensional corridors quickly, lest the network itself bring about their destruction. The webway's alive?
Yeah, that's what I just gained from it. That thing thinks.
It sounds like
it's like a body, actually.
Yeah, that was where I was about to say as well. Is like it's acting like an immune system.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Wow, that's deep, actually. Like that's scary deep.
Yeah.
Like and not to mention, technically, the old ones are. I guess I don't know. The old ones can safely travel through them.
Apparently, yeah.
But these guys, because they're obviously breaking through, the corridors are shifting, so they have to be quick about it.
I suppose like if you go through like the natural entry points, you're probably not considered an issue. Like if you're just like consuming food or something.
Oh,
but if
yeah,
something,
okay,
so like,
so maybe,
but like them having their Dolmen Gates is like a cut on your arm and there's something on the blade. Like, okay, your body's gonna go, hey, immune system, try and stop this.
Oh, so in other words, the older ones have just mapped out how to get into the webway just naturally. So that's what they're like. Oh, we're not going to destroy them. Well, technically, they also, when you think about it, they also, because like it said there, ever-changing corridors, right?
It's like a
like
labyrinth.
The immense, yeah, it's a labyrinth of ever-changing. Like it also a small portion of the immense maze of its webways.
So just go in with a Minotaur and you're fine.
Apparently so. Well, that could technically be it. Like they may have actually mapped out sort of like a section of the webways. Maybe they have like a device that helps them go through it. I
think in the early paragraphs we covered, it talked about how they were using the webway and such, but I don't think it went into too much detail. I'll have to double check that.
I mean, it definitely did not go into detail about how the webways are live. That's for sure.
It was just like, the old ones are expanding through the galaxy. They're the Star Trek seeding planets, making everything fucking hooray. And then, oh, by the way, they use webway too. It was like there was nothing talking too much. Like it wasn't even talking about the gates. So like now we're getting some info. And I was like, sweet. So that's really freaking cool. So of course, in the present age, aeons have passed since the Necrons used the Dolmen Gates to assault their arch enemies. The old ones are gone, and the webway itself has become a tangled and broken labyrinth. Many Dolmen Gates were lost or abandoned during the time of the Necrons' Great Sleep, and many more were destroyed by the Eldari, the Old One's successors as the guardians of the webway. Those that remain grant access to but a small portion of the immense maze that is the webway, much of that is voluntarily sealed off by the Eldari to prevent further contamination. Oh. So if someone does get in, they're not getting far because it's sealed.
Yeah.
That actually makes more sense now.
Yeah, that does make more sense.
Because I do know like the Eldari, and I think the Drukhari live in there as well. Like they're in small areas. So like if things know about the webway, you'd think more and more would just sort of break in. But like if they can't get into a certain area because all the rest of the labyrinth is sealed off, you're stuck until the actual labyrinth kills you. I
guess that's also why the Eldaris there, they prevent further contamination. So I guess the Eldari are almost like the antibodies for a body. You know what I mean? Like they're preventing a corruption.
Yeah, but that'd be like the newer form, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, the older versions of the Andari, I guess. Or maybe they always had like a something there to, because like when you think about it, if it's anything like an immune system, it would have like a protective thing.
Yeah.
So you know.
Dunno. Yet the webway is immeasurably vast, and even these sundered skeins allow the Necrons a mode of travel that far outpaces those of the younger races. It is well that it is so, as a species bereft of psychers as a result of the loss of their souls during the biotransference process, the Necrons are also incapable of warp travel, and without access to the webway, they would be forced to rely on once more slow voyaging stasis ships, dooming them into stellar isolation. So we sort of figured that too, yeah. Without psychers, you can't get into the warp, so you try and go faster than light, which still takes 1,000 years. Unless you're doing like warp 9, but then all that's kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 9 times faster than the speed of light. Yeah, good luck with that.
Well, when it's like again, that's the thing. Like, how fast do the Necrons have to go to not be crushed? Because clearly they can use the webway, which means that they either it's the warp the labyrinth doesn't close very fast, or they're just really fucking quick.
I think it's more of a just like they're holding us through it. But if you go there and like try and stay there or do something, eventually you just get expelled.
Well, yeah.
That's if you force your way in. If you know the natural ways to get in, then you're fine.
True.
So that's what I get from that anyway. But yeah, like the stasis ships, like stuff that. Especially for Necrons though, being in stasis ships doesn't really bother you anymore because your time means shit to them.
What I mean, I don't think they'd even have stasis ships, to be honest. Why
Well,
would they need stasis ships?
Before they became the Necrons, they had the space cancer. They got to try and get out somehow. So you go in stasis.
But when you think about it, once, because obviously these guys are starting to use the webway now after the changed.
Mm.
Do you think that they practically change their ships? Like they'll be like, oh, this is just useless now. Like I think that they'd be just like they'd have more room for. Sorry, there was a truck going by. Would be more room for more troops, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because they'd be removing something they don't need.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like, well, that's what I was saying. Like, well, without it, they'd have to use the stasis ships because even then, even if it still takes you 10,000 years to go across the galaxy, that's still a lot of time to physical pass. If you're literally just sitting there on a ship staring at a wall for 10,000 years, you get fucking insane.
Well, I mean, technically, they already were going insane.
Oh, it gets worse.
Yeah.
It can get really bad. Okay, wait. So, in the wake of these victories, the C'tan and their undying Necron servants now dominated the galaxy. The last planetary bastions of the Old Ones were besieged, and the intelligent species they had once nurtured became cattle for the obscene hunger of the C'tan. To the younger, intelligent species of the galaxy, the Necrons and their star gods were cruel masters, callously harvesting their population at will to feed the C'tan's ceaseless hunger for life energies. The C'tan were figures of terror who demanded mortals' adoration and fear in equal measure. For unknown reasons, but probably because their individual hungers for mortal life energies knew no bounds, the C'tan ultimately began to fight amongst themselves for both sport and out of spite. Among the Eldari, an ancient myth holds that their laughing god tricked the C'tan, known as the Outsider, into turning on his brothers and beginning their long war for ascendancy. Ooh. Cool.
Okay.
So even the other guys are like, fuck it, let's fuck with them.
Yeah. Apparently so.
And typical, yeah. It's a trickster god playing a trick on the biggest fucking bastards around.
True. I mean, to be honest, like there was no way in hell these guys were gonna be like all the C'tan were gonna get along with each other. Let's be real.
No,
like greed was just gonna start taking over.
Yeah, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have all this power of the universe, and it's like, hey man, why are you having all the food? I want more. Greedy bastard. In the course of the C'tan struggle against one another, whole planets were razed, stars were extinguished, and entire systems were devoured by the unleashed black holes. New cities were built by the efforts of millions and then smashed down once more as the red harvest of the C'tan and the Necron servants grew thin. Satan eventually devoured Satan. Oh god, they actually ate each other?
Wow. So they not only did they literally have a never-ending hunger for stars, they started eating each other.
Until only a few were left in the universe and they competed against themselves for a long age. Eventually, even the old ones who had once been defined by their patience and unstoppable will became desperate in the face of the Necron assault. They used their great scientific skills to genetically engineer intelligent beings with an even stronger psychic link to the warp, hoping to create servants with capability channeling psychic power to defend themselves. I may as well just read this last one as well.
Yeah, go for it.
They nurtured many potential warrior species, among which are believed to be the earliest members of the Eldari species and the other Xenos races, including the Rashan, the Kneeb, the Krork, Krorks, and many others. Terran millennia passed. Interesting. Okay. Terran millennia passed as the L1's creations and experiments finally bore fruit, even as the Satan and the Necron servers continue to exchange life across the galaxy. So, like, fucking thousands of years are just roaring past while the Satan are only obliterating everything.
Okay,
But they're also each other.
I think what they mean by Terran millennia is like human years. So
yeah, that's
human
what
millennia.
I suspected.
Yeah, kind of passed because I clicked on the thing and it took me to Terra. So I'm assuming it's
So yeah, thousands of years are just rolling by and it's never-ending war. Zatan and the Necrons are either building empires and destroying them at the same time, eating each other, eating everyone else, fighting each other, and like what's left of the old ones, like fuck it, while they're busy, let's build some people up and like start trying to fight back.
It makes more sense why like when it comes to the next thing, the tide turns. So I'm assuming this is what it's going to cover.
Yeah, well, I got any like venture guesses, like because like the Necrons and the Satan, as far as I know, with the Satan, have no influence on the warp. So if you have entities that do, you'd use that against them. So magic versus technology.
Yeah. Well, there's also the fact that like let's also think because like the Satan is what's telling the Necrons to go out and do things. Obviously, they're directing them. So when the Satan obviously start fighting, like, you know, the Necrons, they're being pointed in like weird directions.
Yeah.
So it probably just these guys are seeing it as like the old ones are seeing it as like an opportunity to go, okay, let's build ourselves up. You know what I mean?
And this whole time, all this is going on, thousands and thousands of times, the Silent King is just fucking waiting.
Yeah,
because he's awake and he knows he sees what's going on. Yeah. So there's always that nugget there. He's like, just fucking give me that chance.
Yeah, exactly. Just let me roll.
When they probably knows like this 10 are actually eating each other, he's probably like, oh fucking yes.
Yeah, my time is about to come.
I'll get my revenge on the last of them, and then they're dead.
Well, technically, he doesn't have to wait. To be honest, actually, no, it would just be waiting here. But do you think the time would be like relevant to him? Like he would constantly, because obviously time just is fleeting now, because they don't have to worry about dying.
Yeah.
Clearly, they don't care for time. This guy is probably just like, literally, probably watching them this entire time. He's literally just like keeping an eye on them, and it's not affecting him.
I suppose it probably would be affecting him too, because like, it's standard interpretation, but like, from a human perspective, if you say you could live forever, eventually time would matter to you, but on a longer scale. And then you have to think, okay, I have to remember 200,000 years ago what I did for breakfast for some reason. So like, that's a long fucking memory to sort of shift through.
Agreed.
And also too, like, even though they have entire armies of these, the Necrons, like, and everyone's like walking around like Terminators, like nothing upstairs. Like they were sentient beings, his people put into these things. Granted, it was to try and uplift them, save them from space camps and whatnot, but that's his people going out and it's getting obliterated for dumb shit.
And not only that, like, some of them are waking up, you know what I mean? Like, some of them are retaining certain things.
I wonder what Tracer comes into this. That'll be interesting. He's fun when you find out about him. He's a mischievous shit.
Okay.
But he's actually awesome. He actually helps out a lot in current times.
Really?
And just out of spite.
Oh, okay.
Spite. Yeah, throws a Pokeball that has a fucking, what are they called? It's the Emperor's elite. What are they? Custodes. That's them.
Yeah, that's just Custodes. Yeah.
He basically has this giant museum that it's all his. So things throughout time he finds interesting, he will just claim it, put it in a Pokeball, and put it in like a stasis thing for him to admire forever. So like he's got all sorts of these. He's got Space Marines from like 10,000 years ago. He's got Custodes. He's got I was about to say Zerg for a second. Then he's got the bloody he's got I think he's got other Necrons floating around. He's got all sorts of humans, other species. He's got Tau. He's got everybody.
And they're just in stasis, basically.
Yeah. Museum pieces. Yeah. It's actually really funny.
When you think about it, right? You wouldn't know that you're stuck in time.
No, you wouldn't.
Because it'd just be like that until you wake up.
Pretty much. They actually, when we get to it way later, it's when Cadia. You've heard of Cadia?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have heard it when we played the game. Cadia stands.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was there, sort of, having a bit of fun and helping out a little bit. Long story short, he actually had an Inquisitor and a couple Space Marines in his little Pokeballs and decided to throw them out to go out and start fighting. So these people probably 100, 200 years ago, whatever they were doing, they're running around fighting, and all of a sudden, yoink, got you. And then all of a sudden, you're on a new planet, everything's going to shit, chaos is everywhere. It's like, well, fuck, I'm in the fight now.
Yeah, well, to be honest, like, let's be real. Like, if you actually did that with Space Marines, I guess they wouldn't really care because they're in the fight. Yeah. Like, all they think about is, like, let me fight. Yeah. And then I'll question what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, they assess everything, and then it's just like, all right, what do we do now? I swear my light behind me just changed color. It was kind of creepy. I set it to purple.
Mine's always changing color.
I set it to purple, and now it's going like pink red. I don't know why.
Yeah. Oh, it could be like the LEDs, and maybe.
It's in the nano leaf.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. True.
Creepy. All right. So we've got the tide turns. The old ones, physically empowered servants, spread across the galaxy, battling the advanced Necron technology with the psychic power of their warp spawn magic. Facing this new onslaught, the Satan's empire was shattered, as the psychic forces of the Immaterium were an anathema to the soulless entities whose existence was wholly contained within purely physical patterns of electromagnetic force. For all the destruction they could unleash, they were unable to stop the old ones and the younger races' relentless advance across the stars. The remaining Satan, unified by this great threat for the first time in millions of Terran years, oh shit, okay, it's for a long time, sought a way to defeat the soul-fueled energies of the younger species. They initiated a great warding, a plan to forever to defeat the psychic sorceries of the old ones by sealing off the material universe from the warp. That probably actually would have been a very good thing if they did that. A plan whose first fruits could once be found on the Imperial Fortress world of Cadia. Oh, you son of a bitch. In the form of the great pylons that led to the surface of that world in intricate networks and create an area space-time stability near the Eye of Terror known as the Cadian Gate. So that's why it was there.
Oh, yeah. Isn't there those giant things that in the game? Weren't they giant pillars? The pylons, aren't they? They're massive giant pylons.
Yeah, I think similar in concept, but they were kind of different. Like, these are like, just like quite literally, just a giant pillar of stone. Like, just like, so not like floating or fancy or anything, but like.
They just, okay.
Because I knew about the pylons. I knew, like, once activated, it pushes the warp away. And if you're a psych or anything, you're just screwed if you're in that area. Like,
right, that's... Oh, yeah, because the Eye of Terror is literally just, like, there.
Yeah.
Which is really weird because it's bigger on the inside.
Yeah, so, yeah, well, it's like
it doesn't look like
looking through the porthole, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what you're looking... I mean, it's massive, let's be real. The fucking thing's huge. It's as big as a planet, basically.
Yeah.
But, like, looking at it is much bigger on the inside. Like, there is a completely different fucking... It's like Doctor Who. I mean, it's always bigger on the inside.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
So, like, I knew the Necrons made the pylons, whatnot, and I suspected it had something to do with the war, but I didn't realize, it was the Satan. Like, fuck it. Make these things, push that back so we get the advantage back. because psychers rely on the warp. So if you push the warp away and deny all access,
or that's why they'll like bring it closer. So so in other words, the old ones kind of wanted it to be closer to Satan, to Cadia, sorry. Because if it increases psychic power, basically, wouldn't closer being like you'd be stronger or something?
Nah, I don't think that's how it works. I don't think.
Pushing away hurts.
Yeah, like if you're tied to the warp, and like I remember reading a story like someone went to one of these planets where their petals were activated, and like any psychers basically just like went insane in this misery and pain.
Oh, right.
It's a piece of you being ripped away and pushed away from you.
Yeah, that makes more sense. I guess it's like if Katie, like why people like Katie are kind of born with like purple eyes and stuff like that.
Well, the purple eyes, that's from the Eye of Terror.
Yeah, and then but some of them are also powerful psychers. They're kind of born that close to the warp.
Don't actually know about that one. I'll have to double check that.
That could just be information that I've heard, and I don't even know if it's true or not.
I may have heard something along those lines too, but I want to confirm that because I don't actually know.
Yeah, I had it's like, believe it or not, family friend who played Warhammer, got a whole thing and everything, and I remember him saying something about powerful psychers are actually born near, like, again, areas of the warp or inside the warp.
Well, like logically, it makes sense. Like,
yeah, it does. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like because the warp is kind of like seeping in, or out. Sorry, and some people are just born. I guess I don't know. I mean, that's probably just like it could also just be his theory about how wide there are incredibly powerful psychers out there.
Well, that's the fun part of something like this. You can make as many theories as you want.
True.
So, where were we? Okay. With their godlike powers, it was only a matter of time until the Satans succeeded. But before their great work was complete, the seeds of destructions the Old Ones had planted millennia before brought an unforeseen cataclysm. The growing pains and collective psychic flaws of the younger species threw the untapped, psychically reactive energies of the Immaterium into disorder. War, pain, and destruction were mirrored in the bottomless depths of the Sea of Souls that was the warp. The maelstrom of souls unleashed into the Immaterium by the carnage of the war in heaven coalesced in the previously formless energies of the warp. Older entities that had existed within the Immaterium transformed into terrifying psychic predators, tearing at the souls of vulnerable psychers as their own environment was torn apart and reforged into the realm of chaos. I'll be damned.
Okay. Yeah. So, if I'm not mistaken, which I probably could be, the warp is basically death, like where souls go after death.
From what I understand, yes. Like a lot of souls do pass through the warp to go on.
So it's kind of like limbo back in there.
Yeah, limbo, purgatory.
Okay.
The space between.
I mean, I guess demons and stuff makes sense.
Yeah. So I'd buy that. But it's actually
that's what I'm seeing.
It's kind of just disturbing that that's a physical place you could go to.
I guess that's like I guess that's like the equivalent of saying that like you could go to hell in a way and physically go to hell.
Yeah,
I mean, or heaven
that way.
Yeah, like fucking take a next left at this intersection, and you'll be in heaven. And I mean, it's
And I was wondering about the Chaos Gods because, like, I knew from what I understand, because the warp is time doesn't mean shit in the warp really.
No, it's its own space basically.
So like the Chaos Gods, they were always there and they always weren't.
Yeah,
it's perspective.
And now that I guess it's also a perspective. Like they started naming them. You know what I mean? They started which I guess made them more real. Because remember, there was one part a big thing that I remember is that you can't think of a Chaos God. Because if you think of Chaos God, it gives them power. That's one big thing that I remember taking away from the reason technically the whole Horus heresy and stuff like that.
Yeah, the Emperor's reason.
Yeah, exactly. When the word bearers started believing that you know, he was a god and stuff like that, and they started getting like really bad about it. He was like, no, stop. If you do that, it makes them more powerful. You need to forget them. You can't give them names. You can't believe in them and stuff like that. Because it's kind of like the whole psychic thing. Like if you believe in it strong enough, it becomes reality.
In this universe, yes.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So that's what I'm saying. Like I think that's one of the reasons I guess the Chaos Gods became named and became so like known in a way. I think that's like a better way of doing it. In my head, that's like an easier way of saying it, because instead of saying that they were always there and yet they always weren't, like they were there,
well,
weren't there at the same time.
That was a theory I had heard a while back, because someone was trying to explain how it wasn't Zinch, it was the most recent one. What the hell's her name? It wasn't Korn, it wasn't Nurgle, it was oh god. It's the Horny Devil one. What is it?
I don't fucking know. I don't know the gods. I should hold on. I could just search up. You know, Horny Devil Warhammer
40K Chaos Gods. Slanesh, that's who it is.
Right.
Because they were talking about how Slanesh was around doing things even though they hadn't been born yet, because time doesn't mean shit in the warp. That was the theory I'd heard. So it's all speculation. I don't know if it's true. But we'll find out. So we have Enslaver Plague. Ooh, in the next chapter on this is Silent King's Betrayal. Oh, we're getting there. All right, here we go. The denizens of the warp, stirred into a frenzy by the conflict in the Materium, clustered voraciously at the cracks between the Immaterium and the Material universe, seeking new ways to enter the physical realm. The Old Ones brought forth new genetically engineered warrior species to defend their last strongholds, including the technology mimicking Jukairo and the formidable green-skinned Krork, who were the ancestors to present-day orcs. But it was already too late. The Old Ones' intergalactic webway network was breached from the Immaterium and lost to them. Several of their warp gates were destroyed by their own hands to prevent the entities of the warp from spreading to uncorrupted worlds, and the Old Ones' greatest works and places of power were overrun by the horrors of their own creations had unleashed. Oof. So they made all these people to help defend them, but then it's now starting to backfire.
Yeah.
Because their very presence.
Yeah.
Cool. The most terrifying of these horrors were the Enslavers, warp entities whose ability to dominate the minds of the younger species and create their own portals in the material realm using mutated, possessed psychers brought them forth in even greater numbers. For the Odd Ones, this was the final disaster as the Enslavers took control of their servants. The Pandora's box unleashed by the creation of the younger species finally scattered the last of the Old Ones and broke their power over the galaxy once and for all. Life had stood at the edge of an apocalypse during the war in heaven between the Old Ones and Satan. Now as the Enslavers breached the Immaterium in epidemic proportions, the survivors looked doomed. Ultimately, beset by implacable onset of Satan and their calamitous warp-spawned perils they had themselves mistakenly unleashed, the Old Ones were defeated, scattered, and finally destroyed. Whether the species went extinct or simply fled the galaxy to seek a new haven elsewhere is unknown, which wouldn't fucking surprise me.
So in other words, technically, the Old Ones, there's no real rumor saying that they're actually dead.
Yeah, that's just assumed.
Gone somewhere. Yeah. Which, I mean, makes more sense. Like, we're only fighting in, our galaxy?
Yeah.
Like, these guys could have just fucked off to somewhere else because they're like, hey, there's no Chaos Gods over that way, there's no Satan over there, let's fuck off, you know what I mean?
Tell you an entire universe.
Yeah, I mean, like, these guys have the technology, basically, to create species.
Yeah, they can
literally
anywhere.
Yeah, they can just fuck off to anywhere. They're like, oh, this is a habitable planet. Let's do it here.
I just came up
like
with
these guys could be
horrible theory. I have a theory. I may be wrong on this.
Just pause on your theory. I just wanted to, because mine's like really lighthearted.
Go.
My theory is that they're sipping like Mai Tais on like a beach somewhere.
Well, possibly. My theory is because in the current universe, whenever the Tyranids attack, they are always coming from different directions of the galaxy. So the one from the north, from the east, west, south. So there's a theory running around that our galaxy is actually surrounded by the Tyranids, right? Everything else is just fucked. What if some of the old ones got away and they made the Tyranids as an ultimate fuck you?
So in other words, they're sicking them, just saying, "Hey, fuck these guys off because they pissed us off."
Yeah, like because they could create life anywhere. Let's create the ultimate organic organism.
Rude. No, that's probably why they're ever evolving too.
Or maybe the hive minds are the old ones. Like,
ooh, that's a deep one.
I kind of like that theory. Like they are the hive minds.
Yeah, I mean, it fits well within like the dark turns that this world has. So, yo, I'm here for it. You know what I mean?
Because that's kind of the fun part about the Tyranids is just like lore wise, there's actually fuck all on them, so no one actually knows.
Yeah,
like only like one or two psychers are even actually been able to look at the hive mind itself, its actual thoughts, and didn't instantly die.
Which could mean that they are actually the great ones, the old ones.
Well, they described it as, I think from what I was reading in the text, it was just like they got a lot of impressions of like, you know, thoughts of voracious hunger, a mind more powerful you could even possibly imagine that extends into billions. It's just like they're trying to emphasize is how fucked we are if we don't come together and do what we need to do. And it was like one or two psychers. They were the only two strong enough to do it.
It's also just like, please, you know how obviously this is all made up, like but it also like it gets you thinking, because you know the whole Star Wars thing from a galaxy far, far away. Like this is like Star Wars could be happening right then and there, like right when we're doing this. An even more fucked up thing would be, what happens if this is actually happening in another planet, like in another galaxy? Like we just haven't fucking seen it yet. Like this is some guy who's actually managed to escape, has created all this to try and get out, saying, "Hey, this is actually happening. Please help." Basically.
I would park my ass on the first transport heading towards Tau. I'll go deep into their empire and fucking hide.
Not only that, but when I think about it, right? Just, you know how people create battle strategies based on the game? What happens if the reason they made battle strategies is the people that created this want new situations on how to win the war? How cool would that be? They're like watching the battles and stuff like that, wearing like, we could have thought about this. They need like an outside perspective.
Sire, the Tyranids have been defeated. Where did we get this battle plan? It was from a 10-year-old. Shit!
Some guy named Jerry who sits in his mother's basement.
So that's why everyone above ground died.
True. But like, how cool is that though? Like, imagine that.
That's a fun theory.
I mean, it's like the same theory when it comes to Star Wars. That's why I love Star Wars so much, is because it gives you the opportunity, the impression that it's happening, but we can't see it because obviously we haven't traveled that far.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
it's always fun.
There could be people out there swinging fucking sabers and shit.
Oh, if only. Yeah, I'd like to go out there and swing my saber too. One day.
God, this is like the fucking this is like keyhole all over again.
I had to pause for a second and think, like, do I make like a dumb joke? And I'm like, fuck it, we'll go for it.
This is like that fucking keyhole joke you made during fucking stream.
Hey, we found the key.
We did. And the keyhole, apparently.
Yeah, it's great. Good old Dead Space. But yeah, so I really love that theory. Like, it's probably bullshit, but like it kind of makes sense. Like millions and millions and millions of years later, the old ones are like, fuck it, ultimate revenge. Let's make the Tyranids. Or just wipe everything clean, and we're gonna start over.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like they're the ultimate organisms for wiping out everything and consuming everything and turning into biomass to create more things. So it's incredibly advanced how they just spread out.
Not to mention space travel.
Yeah, they travel actually kind of slow, but they don't need to go fast either. Like they use like gravity slings, all that kind of stuff, so like, they can get around, but it will take like a couple hundred years.
I mean, to be honest, but that's the thing. Like, why would the old ones need warp? But that's probably why. Like, they're probably like, look, you know, these guys are playing around with the warp. If we decide to give them warp technology, it'd just be wasting our time. Like they'd know where to find us.
Yeah.
So
And
they
can't even
like,
they can't get to the webway anymore either.
Yeah, because they've been driven from the galaxy where they knew where the webways were.
Yeah, so you could be looking anywhere and like good luck finding it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's probably what they were doing. They're like, oh fuck it, we can't find it anymore. Let's just send ships that can again still travel and gravity sling and shit like that, but like an advanced species that can evolve.
Maybe.
Like, because obviously other species technically couldn't do that. The species they created was literally to fight Necrons and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, all right, we've learned our lesson. Let's create a species that is just ever evolving.
Yeah. It's like it's the perfect biological system.
Yeah.
Very quickly they can adapt to problems.
And yeah, and then they probably just tested it on themselves, like, hey, let's do what the Satan did and give ourselves like, basically bodies and stuff like that, and then became the hive mind.
Yeah. So yeah, I love that theory so much. That makes me happy.
I'm great. It's growing on me, man. Like I love it. It's great.
So like, yeah, we just read through all that. Like, so the enslavers just went through like, oh god, like we got these, we made the Eldari and all these the Krogs one, they're fighting for us, and then all of a sudden the warp spawn are coming through, taking over your guys and turning on you. It's just like, okay, we're fucked.
Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah,
and at that point too, I wouldn't even bother fighting. I'd just leave. It's like, what's the point?
Agreed.
Like literally, just go galaxy over, go over the Andromeda.
Yeah, exactly. There is no point.
Yeah, I think maybe because they were boxed in.
Oh, yeah, I guess. I mean, you're probably not wrong.
Because like if you go into like the webway or something, try and go over the next galaxy. I don't even know how big the webway is, but it's a labyrinth. So you could go in there. Like we know the routes within this galaxy to get around. If we try to go out, we don't know where we're going.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, who knows?
We don't know where to end up. Don't know what's inside it. Like these guys. I mean, it could be completely different on the inside too. Like it's a completely different labyrinth and stuff like that. They could be entering from a new area and be like, "Oh shit, we've made our way in," but like there could be new beasties inside.
Do you know that there's actually on our Terra's moon there's a webway gate?
Wow. Okay.
it's completely hidden, but it's super actually important to way later with the Primarch for the Ultramarines.
Oh, wait, Gilliman.
Yeah, it helps him out a ton. But yeah, there's a webway sitting there that no one fucking knows about until way later. Which means the Eldari and whoever else needed it had a backdoor to Earth.
Yeah.
I think there was two, actually. I think there's another webway on Earth. I don't know that for certain. No, the throne is a webway thing. We'll get to that later. Okay, so we got the Silent King's betrayal. And after that, we've got the Great Sleep. Okay. We're getting through good stuff now. So throughout the final stages of the war in heaven, Zarek bided his time, waiting for the moment in which the Satan would prove most vulnerable. Well, that would be now. Through the entire Necron... the entire Necron species were now his to command. Silent King could not hope to oppose the Satan at the height of their power. Even if he did and met with success, the Necrons would then have to finish the war in heaven against the Old Ones and their increasingly potent allies species alone. No, the Old Ones had to be completely and utterly defeated before the Satan could be brought to account for the horror they had wrought among the Necrontyr. And so when the Satan finally won their great war, their triumph was short-lived, with one hated enemy finally defeated and the other spent from hard-fought victory. Silent King at last led the Necrons in revolt. Their arrogance, the Satan did not realize their danger until it was too late. I like it. Yeah, I was going to have a drink, but it's like, yeah, he's just waiting thousands and thousands of years.
Jesus Christ. I didn't know that out of the, 20, how many is it? 20 legions, basically? 8 of them were traitors.
Yeah.
on Primarchs. That's crazy. I really love the whole thing about Primarchs. I want to learn more about the Primarchs.
No, don't worry, we'll get there.
Yeah, we're definitely getting there.
Yeah.
But like
once we get through all of like the backstory of everything, yeah, we'll pick a subject each week and we'll just go ham on it.
Yep, and hopefully the first one could be Primarchs.
Oh,
I'm really enjoying
if we do Primarchs first before like the Emperor or something, I feel like we're gonna get in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously we'll do the Emperor first.
Yeah,
and then we'll it's just more like about the history and stuff like that. Not getting like too deep into obviously.
It's like first episode. Let's do the history of 40K. We're gonna start with Tau. It's like fucking what?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
These guys have been around for a blip, and we're starting there.
Yeah,
like they're my boys, but no.
I mean, it also could technically, instead of like doing just like we could do like Emperor, and then we could just do like every section of the Primarchs, like the obviously the legions, technically do it around them and stuff like that. But I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to do like an episode each because like each Primarch needs an episode basically.
Oh, fuck yeah! I mean, out of the 22,
most of them have like enough lore like to at least fill an episode.
I know.
Some only have like slivers, but yeah, there's definitely a bit.
There's a lot to do with a lot of them, and there's actually a TikToker that I watch who does like acting as if he was one of the Primarchs and having conversation with other Primarchs. It's really funny.
Oh, I know him.
It's really it's really informative too.
Find the one where it's Dante talking to his Primarch.
Oh,
Sanguinius.
Oh, Sanguinius. Yep, I know.
He does that so fucking well.
I love how he plays Sanguinius, the Blood Angels. I love that.
Yeah, he's a great voiceover artist.
Although Dante, isn't Dante?
Dante is the chapter master of the Blood Angels.
Chapter master of the Blood Angels. Yeah.
He is actually one of the oldest Space Marines getting around.
Technically, Sanguinius is dead as of now.
Yes, but there's a lot of theories like the afterlife and stuff like that. He's kicking around because there's been
technically they can always come back.
Well, that's kind of the thing. Is just like if you do bring him back, how is it even remotely believable? The running theory at the moment, like he's part of like the warp or something, because like there's been images of him. He sends his Sanguinor. It's like he sends basically an angel to help people.
And also technically
there's a theory that's the Emperor.
Why they keep going into like the Black Rage.
Yeah, there was a theory that maybe the Emperor is doing that. I heard a theory recently, like one way you could bring it back is like I think this is called the Legion of the Damned. Basically, have him lead them. So they're basically undead.
Makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
They're dead Space Marines that come in and help.
But that's the thing. Like, it's obviously, if you did bring Sanguinius back, let's be real. I mean,
I wish
the Blood Angels would be scary, very scary.
They are now.
Because Sanguinius didn't demand loyalty from the Blood Angels. No, he basically knelt in front of them, basically saying that we are on the same foot.
From what I know of Sanguinius, there's a whole rabbit hole we're going to go there, but like he earned his command and respect and everything.
Yeah, exactly, because he didn't challenge the Legion. He didn't challenge he didn't do anything like that. He literally said that we will be in this together.
Well, I know we're going way off topic here, but it's like even when he had to kill one of his own men because they fell to the Black Rage, he wept. And Horus saw the whole thing. And he had made Horus promise not to tell anybody.
Well, I mean, technically also then Horus was scared of Sanguinius.
Most people, it was funny, most people loved Sanguinius and feared him.
Well, because
he was nice, he was proper, he has a lot of fun banter with his brothers and horsing around. And then at the same time, he could fuck anything up. Like when you hear
he would do it with no second thought.
When we get to the Horus Heresy and all that, and what he went through in just a span of a short time, what he fought on Terra, he took on a Titan, he took on like a like a massive like giant demon. Then he took on Angron, and then when fought Horus and all sorts of other bullshit. Like he went through the ringer.
I forgot he took he went face to face with the fucking Primarch of the World Eaters.
Yeah, and won.
Yeah, and then decided to go up against Horus.
Still got up and kept fighting.
Yeah, then it's just like, all right, time for Horus.
Like, he got fucked up too.
Wait, actually,
so like Sanguinius, like he's scarily tough.
Yeah, I mean that's probably why. I guess it's also technically why I like the Blood Angels so much. Is because like again, it's badass. Yet like the Blood Angels are obviously like a super fucking scary bunch, but like they have this really bad thing that could happen to them at any moment. That's why I like them so much, because again, they're not overpowered, but yet like they're strong, and yet they have this downside that they could have like the Black Rage and shit. It just makes them so much like again a bomb in a singular suit.
Pretty much, yeah.
And when the bomb goes off, it's to whatever's in front of it.
You gotta be real careful. So you really need to read the book Devastation of Baal.
Yeah.
It is so good. All Blood Angels, 25,000 of the bastards fighting the Tyranids.
Okay. We should get back on track.
Yes, we should. But yeah, definitely recommend that book. That's one of the first ones I read recently. Oh God, is it good? And that's got Dante and everyone is that they go for it.
Noted.
So basically Necrons didn't realize it was too late. They were fucked. The Necrons focused the unimaginable energies of the living universe into weapons, god-killing hypercannons devised by the finest cryptex in the galaxy, too mighty for even the star gods to endure. Not even the great overlords of the Necron crown worlds well remember the battles against the star gods, for causality itself was damaged by the forces unleashed to dismember the Satan. And the Silent King was wont to remove the knowledge of the dreadful weapons employed from his warriors after the fact, in fear of what might later be done with them. Oh, alas.
I forgot that they had fucking hypercannons.
Oh, yeah. I'll keep going. I'll read the whole thing because this is a whole tangent we're going to go on here. Yeah. Alas, the Satan were a mortal star spawn, part of the fundamental fabric of a reality and therefore nigh impossible to destroy. So as each Satan instead sundered into thousands of smaller and less powerful energetic fragments, each with the personality of the whole entity. Yet this outcome was sufficient to the Silent King's goals. Indeed, he had known the Satan's ultimate destruction to be impossible and had drawn his plans accordingly. Each new Satan shard was bound within a multi-dimensional tesseract labyrinth, as trammeled and secured as a legendary Terran gin trapped in a bottle. Though the cost of victory was high, millions of Necrons had been destroyed as a consequence of the rebellion, including all the members of the Triarch, save for the Silent King himself. The Necrons were once more in command of their own destiny. So I knew about the Satan shards, and I knew that they were parts of the Satan, but it's just like, woof. Which raises the question, like, how was the Satan able to kill each other? Like, how much power was required? Like, if these guys are firing guns that's literally tearing reality apart, then how much power did the fucking Satan have to kill each other?
That's
yikes.
I mean, let's be real. Like, I mean, they're star killers. You know what I mean? These guys are pretty fucking powerful already, and yet they're fighting each other. Like, the fucking drawback of that.
Yeah. And I love how it personalizes, like, oh, they'd burned much of their power in the fight, and yet they just turned around and killed millions of Necrons. This is like, yeah, so they weren't very spent at all. Like, they still lost, but it's just like in a wave of your hand, the armies just die.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm also writing this down in my notes so I can try to. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I mean, that's
like really cool though. Like, so they have basically essences of these Satan, these star gods, put into shards like a genie in a bottle, and those shards, that'd be almost unlimited sources of power. Because I know, like, from the tabletop and from what I've read and heard, I'm pretty sure they use the shards as, I think I may be able to set it here as well. They use those shards as, that's basically the Necron's batteries. And you could, I think on the tabletop top as well, I think there used to be a move like shattering a shard and a Satan would pop out and fuck everything up. Or is that in a book?
I guess that's also like, that could technically be like something, you smash the shard is his hand, fucking pops out, game wipe.
Not sure, but yeah. I do know of instances where like Satan shards have like been broken, and yeah, like Satan would just like go on a rampage, and one shard would wipe out armies. Because yeah, you had this pace of a god just running around, destroying everything. It takes a lot to bring them down.
Agreed.
That's cool as shit.
Yeah. 100%.
So we've got the Great Sleep next. And then after that, we got the Rise of Humanity. I think we'll save the Rise of Humanity for the next episode.
Agreed. Keep going. I am writing this down as we go.
So, the Necrons had been vindicated in the pursuit of science and control over the material realm, and certainly took pleasure in seeing the Old One's civilization collapse as a result of their overindulgence of psychic power and the end of Satan's domination over their species. Yet even with the defeat of the Old Ones and Satan alike, the Silent King saw that the time of the Necrons in the galaxy was over. For the moment, at least. They would allow the enslavers to take what was left of the intelligent life of the galaxy and let it become an interstellar wasteland. The Psyker swarm would then die, and in time, the galaxy would evolve new life forms that would be less sophisticated and easier to dominate. In addition, the Necrons understood that the mantle of galactic dominion, was soon to pass to the Eldari, one of the physically potent species that have fought alongside the Old Ones throughout the war in heaven, and had thus come to hate the Necrons and all their works with the burning passion that is the defining characteristic of that species. The Eldari had survived where the Old Ones had not, and the Necrons, weakened by their expenditure of lives and resources in overthrowing the rulers of Satan, could not stand against them. Yeah, so that actually kind of makes sense as well. As like, yeah, they may have won against the Old Ones, but also they got the fucking chaos bastards running around.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, now they're fighting like another war, basically.
Yeah, and then you go around, okay, here's our chance, let's turn on the Satan, and then like 2/3 of your army just gets wiped.
Yeah.
So it's like they won, but at what cost? Which is quite interesting. So no surprise, yeah, the Eldari would take over. So there's nothing to know about the Krork, though, like how many of them were around. So yet the Silent King knew that the time of the Eldari would eventually pass, as it must pass for all those beings still collecting flesh. It would take millions of Terran years for the Eldari's power to fade, but what mattered is that the Necrons would be there to take advantage of it. So it was that the Silent King ordered the remaining Necron cities to be transformed into great tomb complexes threaded in with stasis crypts. Let the Eldari shape the galaxy for a time. They were but ephemeral, whilst the Necrons were undying and eternal. The Silent King's final command to his people was that they must sleep for the equivalent of 60 million standard years, but awake ready to rebuild at all that they had lost to restore Necron dynasties to their former glory. That's a long freaking time.
Yeah, I'm talking about going for a nap and waking up like, what year is it?
Yeah. It's crazy to think, like, hey, your body's in stasis will survive 60 million years.
Yeah, I mean, that's
like I can't get a double D battery to last more than a week. And like, what's the power sources these guys are using?
Jesus Christ. I guess maybe Satan energy. That's the only thing I can think of. Is like they're literally like holding a piece of Satan energy, and it's like a bit of the power.
Well, that's it. Like if they're holding multiple pieces, you can power multiple cities and places
for like quadrillion years, basically, because they're never ending. Like those things were feasting on stars for so long. The amount of energy that they would be being able to output.
Yeah, any sort of energy they fed on.
Fucking hell. And not to mention these things are doing it
and they ate each other too, so they get all that extra stuff.
Yeah, just imagine if you accidentally set one of those things off. Goodbye to our entire galaxy.
Yes.
Just, gone in an instant. It wouldn't be just like a rolling explosion. It'd just be vaporized.
Yeah. So this was the Silent King's final order, and as the last two worlds sealed its subterranean vaults, Zarek destroyed the engrammatic command protocols by which he had controlled his people for so long, for he had failed them utterly. Without a backward glance, Zarek, the last of the Silent Kings of the Triarch, took ship into the starless void of intergalactic space, there to find whatever measure of solace or penance he could. I heard about this. This is important later. Meanwhile, eons passed and the Necrons slept on. The machine slaves and constructs guarding them while they slept on two worlds that had been purged of all life to keep the enslavers from their door. This plan worked with an amazing degree of success till the Necrons were awakened by the forces of the Imperium of Man in the 41st millennium to play the galaxy once more. They discovered a new and unexpected age of interstellar civilization and war, much like the one they left behind 60 million standard years before. Oh, so they're actually due to start waking up now.
Oh, okay. So
I thought it wasn't until later.
Okay, so technically, we do pronounce it Eon. That is the preferred way of us saying that. Aeon is the British English, while Eon is the American Australian equivalent of English. That's crazy. I didn't know that. I thought they were two different things.
So, I was kind of wondering about that about Necrons, like because some of them have woken up now and others have been disturbed. It's like, when was the clock supposed to end?
So an eon is an indefinite and very long period of time. No shit.
Yeah.
I mean, can we get like an equivalent to like estimate of how long an eon is? Hang on.
About 1 million years or two. The galaxy is blossoming with life once more, but is still overrun with latent psychers and worshippers of the infernal chaos warp energies. You go.
So an eon is a period of time that is roughly 1 billion years long.
Yikes.
So when we say an eon, it's 1 billion years. Like that's basically one eon. This thing is fucking long, man. Like this is a very long timeline that we've created. This is billions of years. Like literally.
I wonder though if they use eons in this instead of billions, they're using it for millions. Because they say eons have passed, but they say 60 million years before. So I wonder if they're using eons for millions.
Maybe. I mean, it does say that an eon period is equivalent of 1 billion, and it's just got the number there as well. So maybe these guys just think it's 1 million, but
don't know. So the galaxy was blossoming with life once more, but still overrun with psychers, worshippers of warp energies during the war in heaven. It will take time and a great many machinations for the Necron dynasties to regain their rightful place as rulers of the galaxy. The agents of chaos must be overthrown, a dangerous Eldari, the inheritors of the Old One's mantle, eliminated, humanity subjugated, and the great work cutting off the material universe from the war completed before a new age of Necron dominion can truly begin. Well, the Necrons are ageless and are dying. Their technology is still unmatched by any of the younger starfaring species, and time is always on their side. Facts.
100% facts.
Yeah, time means shit for them. They literally, there's a place, it hasn't told us in this, but I do know there's a place that you can go to with the Necrons. It's like a big star map, and literally they tap a star, and that star actually IRL explodes.
Jesus.
Yeah, they've got like just bombs and shit everywhere. So like these guys are insanely powerful, and then you think, what kind of powers?
Why haven't they used that?
Well, they're asleep.
I mean, still, like these guys could end a war very quickly by the sounds of it.
Yes, if they really wanted to. But if they go around just wiping out stars, what's the effects of that?
Maybe if you're fighting, I guess I guess. Well, also when you think about it, their primary directive was to attack, not like wipe out.
Yeah,
like conquer is what their primary function was, is to conquer.
Because like their goal at the moment is okay, get rid of anything that's living or subjugate it. If they start just wiping out stars, well then their ultimate goal is for nothing. There's no point building on a dead world. Well, actually, you could build on a dead world, but without a sun and all that kind of stuff, there are consequences.
Yeah.
So it's counterintuitive is my point. And also, too, if you blow up a star, high probability it will take out the solar system.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Guess it's not.
What's wrong?
Oh, I just clicked on like it looks like it's called the Primarch's Wall. And it's like a painting, kind of like the Last Supper. But it's like all the Primarchs. And for some reason, okay, so which is the Primarch of the Space Wolves?
Lehman Ross.
Right. He wears wolf skins on him, right?
Right.
He's fucking massive in this.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
He's the biggest one of them all. Well, he's also talking to the hang on. I can figure this out because I'm smart. It was the Fulgrim. That's the one. Emperor's Children. He's talking to the he's talking to Fulgrim.
Is he in purple?
He's got, I can kind of just tell because he's got a giant wing. Oh, yes, and he's wearing purple. He's got also a giant wing on his shoulder.
And he's just come back to the tabletop.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Chaos
so
Primarch.
Lived. Right, because he was...
Yeah.
He was literally...
He
was
turned.
Pretty much like, I thought he was... never mind.
So he's been floating around for a while, but like on tabletop, he was never around as far as I know.
He is also called the Demon Prince of Slaanesh.
Yep.
Right, so he worships Slaanesh.
Oh, yeah.
That is it weird to say that? That kind of accurate. Just the one Primarch who's probably like good looking, and that's his whole shtick was being like really good looking.
For I know him, like his thing was always, I think
elegance.
Elegance, being a little bit of a perfectionist. Like he loved art and culture. You know, people looking good, having actual good clothes. Like he was on a world that was absolutely shit. Typical Primarch, he gets big, takes over, it makes it a paradise.
Yeah, and then obviously, then Slaanesh was like, I will take you.
Yeah, kept that fashion, and then later on, Crusade, he's wiping out a planet. Ooh, fancy sword that looks great. I'll use this. Sword starts driving him nuts. Whole spiel. So like, no surprise that he went to
demon
Slaanesh.
in the blade.
Yep.
Yeah. And he just liked it, so.
Well. Yeah, it's a whole spiel. We'll get to there, but yeah. So that's the backstory of the universe. So it took us 3 episodes to get through. Jesus. But hey, like that's cool as shit. Like learning, like now we got some detail to what sort of happened.
Yeah, 100%.
So like now, actually, like the Satan and the old ones actually kind of makes sense to me. Huh? Like, so yeah, you have literal these beings that have been around since fucking forever, feeding on suns and whatnot.
I'm in agreement, man. Like that's like now I actually have backstory to how it all started. You know, like I never had this. What was it? I never had the base for it.
Yeah.
Like I had all these pedestals and stuff, but no foundation about why or what happened. And now I do. Like now I have the foundation. I'm like, shit, okay, I'm getting things now. Things are starting to lock into place. Like things are now connected and stuff like that. So like I get it.
And now it's just like whenever we think of like Necrons getting around now, like the ones who speak, like the Silent King or Trazen or fucking whoever, like you just think like how old they are and everything they've fucking seen over literal eons. And I checked the spelling of the one, the AEON one, and that's just the term for just a long period. I think the other one, the EON, I think that's the one for billions.
Okay, that makes sense.
That would explain why the writing was weird.
That makes it's a little bit weird.
So when they say aeons have passed or eons, however you want to pronounce it, they're referring to just shitloads of time, not actual billions.
Billions of years, yeah.
Because it was 60 million years. So so that's really cool. So now because when we get to it later, like the Silent King, he's out in the void, right, just sort of chilling. He's the actual first one who spotted that the Tyranids were coming.
That makes more sense.
So he's the one who actually hauled us back and started helping other Necrons. Like, hey, shit's coming. I don't know the full details of it, but like he was the first ones to spot them because they're just slowly just creeping into the galaxy. Actually, like the Reapers.
Now that I think about it, would the fucking Necrons have anything to do with the Necrons? Because the Necrons aren't organic.
They'd still deal with them to a point. Because if they threaten their tomb worlds, they would.
It'd be a decent mashup.
Oh yeah.
Like, you put those two to like a fight ring and shit like that. I think, to be honest, I think the Necrons would win. Their fucking guns are scary.
Technologically, yes. The problem is still it's numbers.
Yeah, because they have 100%. Technically, the Necrons aren't building more of themselves either, aren't they? They needed the Satan to do that.
No, they could make more of themselves.
They just choose not to.
I would assume they could repeat the process on other races.
Maybe they have been doing that. That's what the subjugation is.
Yeah, that actually wouldn't surprise me. Like, because you're an army, you got to rebuild somehow.
True.
So, like, yeah, they could probably do it. Whatnot. It's just like most of the Necron empires are asleep. So even if you wake a handful, say you wake up one planet, okay, we got 10 million Necrons here. We wake them up. They go out and fight, sure, but you've got 10 million Necrons and fancy weapons against hundreds of billions of Tyranids.
Yeah,
it's still numbers do still win.
Yeah,
like even if you do the black hole weapons, it's like, yeah, black hole destroyed 10 billion. There's another 20 still coming, and you've got to reload.
Yeah.
So it's just that's the kind of thing I take from that. Like if all the Necrons woke up and got into action, yeah, everyone's fucked.
But that's the thing. Like it makes it sound like the Tyranids just can't be beaten. You know what I mean? Because there's too many of them.
Well, they have been beaten in many instances. It's just like denying them as much as possible until you strike. It's like the same devastation of Boar Book. The Tyranids were heading their way. What the Blood Angels actually did, got in front of them. All the worlds that are in their path, they wiped them clean. They couldn't evacuate
Blast them. So exterminatus.
Yeah, if they couldn't get people out of there, they would just wipe it out.
Jesus.
They literally destroyed anything that the Tyranids could consume to rebuild their numbers. So you're starving them and driving them to you. So when they get there, their numbers aren't replaced. They don't have
they literally okay.
And then you had sorties go out. You poke and prod. Make sure the beast is still coming, but you take out what you can and get out.
Wouldn't it be easier though to because obviously the big tentacles from the ships come down, right? Wouldn't it be easier to have when the Tyranids have started eating it, just to glass it while they're there? Because that you're taking out a lot then.
The problem is like when you got the big ones, they're on it, consuming a planet with the big tendrils, whatnot. That means the planet is in the middle of the swarm. Getting in there, you're not getting in there.
Okay. Oh, okay. Now I think I understand.
Yeah, that's
the swarm is now around the planet.
Yeah, that's at the arse end when everyone is dead. So if you could sneak onto a planet, good luck.
Oh, so hang on a minute. So while we in the game sense, right? Because obviously the big tendrils are coming down in the game. Does that mean that we're literally at the arse end of the swarm? So the swarm's technically moved past us? We're fighting the swarm?
To be honest, I don't know the entire details. I could be wrong. Those ships could be further up the front and they're feeding and rebuilding at the same time because they're going to consume biomass to rebuild the numbers. So I don't actually know. It's a bit hard because in that game, the Tyranids, there should actually be a shitload more. And two, it's a tendril. It's not the full thing.
Yeah, okay. Makes sense.
So, yeah, and I'm still pissed off at the fact that Tyranids took a back seat in that game.
Really?
Yeah, because we were half the game it was Tyranids, and then the rest was chaos. I don't give a fuck about this.
Yeah, you started fighting the chaos.
Yeah, Thousand Suns suck.
They do. I don't like them. Okay,
granted, the concept is cool.
Yeah, but
they've already been done.
Yeah,
it was the first game.
Technically, actually, maybe.
Yeah.
But hang on. So technically, they did the exact same thing because at the start of the game, when you played against, it's orcs. They did the exact same thing. You play against orcs for half of them, and then you play against the Thousand Suns.
Yep.
What's it going to be next? You're going to play half against the fucking Tyranids and then fight the Satan? Not the Satan, fucking
Oh god.
Eldari. I take that back,
Titus
guys.
versus
Satan was on the
Satan.
right.
Fuck that.
I mean,
God, that
technically,
gotta be
isn't like fucking Titus special somehow? Like
Oh,
he can deny deny chaos or some shit.
well, that's no one actually knows. Like the series, like he's a latent psyker. He may be a blank. It's hard to tell.
Because I mean, he could be a very powerful psycho.
But yeah, it's a big mystery of what he is, and that's why like people don't like him.
That's why I'm saying it just doesn't. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't because they haven't given us where he fits in the story.
Well, that's it. Like even in the secret level, that actually is a continuation. It's they actually do try to kill him off, and he still keeps going.
Well, I mean, yeah. But, you know,
Well, it was
tried to
actually
kill him off in the first
at the start they did the mission briefing, and it says like this is a suicide mission. So that was the mission he was going to.
Oh, that was when he was part of the Death Guard.
No, it was after the second game.
Oh, when the chapter master takes him, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
We got this super secret mission you've got to do because the chaplain there, he fucking hates him.
Well, technically, the chaplain is also one of the fucking Space Marines from the old game because the only reason he hates him is because he didn't do shit by the book, the Codex Astartes.
Yeah, because he thought he was tainted by chaos.
Even though like he never was.
Yeah, that's why he hates him so much. So like in the secret level, it's like the theory I've been hearing everywhere is that's the continuation. It's like the chaplain sending him on that mission, and the guy who even trained Titus, like we're getting rid of them. Can't be trusted.
It's where technically the chapter master's taking him with him because he's like, "Hey, you're coming with me now."
Yeah. So whatever.
I was gonna
doing.
say it may be like the chapter master could just shoot Titus in the back. Fuck you.
No,
it could be an assassination. No, but it could be an assassination attempt from fucking the chaplain.
Well, that's what I was, sort of inferring. Yeah, send him on a mission so he dies.
I mean, they tried that. The entire game was basically that. Like they'll be like, "All right, we're not sparing soldiers for your suicide mission."
Yeah,
and yet he still came out on top. I don't know. Like I mean, it'd be interesting to see what they do. I mean, obviously, I know they just came out with Space Marine 2 and stuff like that, and they're updating the game and they're making it nice and stuff like that. But like, I would have liked Titus more if they had have put him in the story where he could fit. Like, give us a reason why he's safe from the chaos. Like the
it would be nice to know why.
That's exactly it. I think I would like Titus more if I knew why he was capable of, fucking with chaos. And yet, I guess maybe it's like strong-minded because remember, the other two had to touch chaos to turn the pillars. You know what I mean? Remember when they started when they had to rotate the pillars? Both of them had to do it. I mean, obviously
it was burning them though.
Yeah, well, one had a metal armor, didn't burn him very much.
No, you see, he was still wincing from it.
Yeah, I guess maybe it's like you have to be very strong-minded to do so, but like again, they didn't really make it.
Yeah, it wasn't very
easy
explained.
For us to understand. Yeah,
but yeah, so that's the war in heaven and all that sort of wrapped up. So when we come back next time, we got the rise of humanity. Oh shit, yeah, and the age of technology. Oh, we got all the fun stuff coming.
Oh my god, that's like the whole fucking. Oh no, we're about to dive into the fucking war.
We got AI, the Dark Age, Men of Iron. Oh, and then it comes up to the fall of Eldari after that.
Oh god.
So we got a lot to cover next time. I am super excited. So yeah, I love the fact that we've got the backstory. We've got some fun theories. We know about what the Satan are, but much as we can know about the old ones. I still love my theory that the old ones are now the hive mind of the Tyranids. That's fucking cool.
It's a cool theory. I mean, there's probably going to be. I mean, I would like to hear people. I would like to see people's opinions on that theory too. So if you have, maybe even to disprove our theory as the theory, put it down in the comments, man. I want to read this shit. Like this.
Yes.
Obviously, there's things that we're not taking into account, but I want to see this. I want to have this discussion because this would be really sick to say.
Oh yeah, it's just like, where are they now? The old ones.
Agreed.
So yeah, so we're gonna wrap that up there for tonight, guys. Like, this was really fun. I really enjoyed it. We had a number of tangents tonight, but that was perfectly fine because it stayed within 40k realm. So, so thank you very much to everyone for watching this. Greatly appreciated. Oni, thanks for coming in and hanging out, man.
Man, thanks for a good, good session. This is, I love it. Honestly, I love doing this. It's fucking incredible. It's like, I mean, we're only 3 episodes in, and yet I'm so down this rabbit hole that I just want to keep going.
Yes. So hopefully we get more videos out very soon. It's just life scheduling, end of year. You know how it is. So we got more coming. So love you all. Hope everyone has a great hope everyone has a great continuation of their New Year's. Don't do anything too crazy, and we'll catch us all on the next one. Turtles.